Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. I want to talk some basketball here. Will Wade is putting together his first team at LSU in his second round here in Baton Rouge. And I got to be honest with y'all, I'm having some trouble following his roster construction online. I think of myself as a pretty good interneter. I'm pretty good at it. I can tell when stuff is fake or a troll. I can tell when something's legit. I spend a lot of time on the internet. I work for a website. I'm pretty good on the internet, but I struggle with this basketball stuff because we're dealing with fake LSU media outlets and we're dealing with international media outlets that I'm unfamiliar with. So I can't tell you if this report that's pulled up on my screen right now from Asatu News or Mozart Sport, I don't know if they're legit or not. It could be The Onion for all I know. I have no idea. But it is on the internet. And let me be pretty frank with you. The LSU baseball team stinks. They have 1 game or 2 games left in their season. The football team quit practicing 3 weeks ago. I don't have a lot else to discuss when it comes to stuff on the field. The Saints are practicing. Rookie minicamp's over. They don't have OTAs for a little bit. The draft's done. They don't play football games here for 3 months. I'm looking for things to discuss, and this potentially could be one of them. Now, I am telling you outwardly, I feel like there's a reasonable chance this is legitimate. There's also a non-zero chance that this is completely made up. But I've told you that in advance, so I can't really get in trouble now. I just discussed it, and if I'm completely wrong, we'll just forget I ever did it, right? I'm being honest. I don't know if Asatu News is a legitimate sports outlet in Israel. I have no idea. I'm used to tracking the transfer portal on 3 and 24/7. I'm pretty good at that. I know when Hayes Fawcett says something, it's pretty legitimate. I don't know who wrote this story. Rina Maharani. Not real sure about the credentials on Rina. No clue. But it's written. It's on the internet. It's got to be true, right? So here's what it is. It says LSU Tigers basketball secures commitment from guard Yam Madar. Now let me tell you about Yam Madar. Yam Madar is from Israel. He is a 6'3" guard. He was drafted in the NBA draft. This is not the first guy that's been tied to LSU that was drafted. It is the first guy who's been tied to LSU that was drafted in the 2020 NBA draft. This man was selected when the world was shut down for COVID-19. I had known my wife at that point for like 5 months. We have now been married for 5 years and have 2 kids, including a 4-year-old. This guy's been playing basketball the whole time. So there's 2 sides to this coin. One, when I watch the highlight tape of him on YouTube, he's good. He can shoot it. He's a good athlete. He moves very well. He scores from 3 levels. I'm good with that. I like LSU getting a 6'3" combo guard with a history of 40% three-point shooting, 85% from the free throw line, and a very good athlete. That's a good piece to the puzzle. I'm a little bit perplexed and candidly rubbed a little bit the wrong way that he's going to be 26 years old and was drafted by the NBA 6 years ago and might be LSU's starting guard. That's a lot. Now, look, this is not cheating. These are the rules. They're going to get changed, but they haven't been changed yet. You can go get professional basketball players and load up your roster. And they might be 23, like LSU's got a couple of commitments from. They might be 26, which is what Yam Madar is going to be. He turns 26 in December. They'll start conference play a couple weeks later. But it's legal right now. And Will Wade's got money to spend, and these guys will jump at it. And it appears what they're going to do. I pulled up Jan Madar's Basketball Reference, and I don't know exactly how to parse through all of this. I don't know what the BSL is. I don't know what the ABA is. I don't know what the IBSL is. I know what EuroLeague is, and it's very good, and he's played some years in the EuroLeague. He's played in Tel Aviv. He's played for Bavern. He's played for Fenerbahce. He's played for Partizan. But it all dates back to 2020 when he started playing professional basketball. Over the course of, I guess that's 6 years of play with a lot of different teams in a lot of different leagues, he's a 48% field goal shooter. He's a 39% three-point shooter. He's an 85% free throw shooter. He had a 16-point-per-game season early on in his life. He had a 14-point-per-game season in the Euro Cup over 9 games. Basically, it looks like this guy's a pretty good player. He's very old, and he has enough talent that the NBA drafted him 6 years ago. So it's just it's a bit of a ridiculous spot that we're in here. I don't fault Will Wade for 1 second for doing it. And I was talking to Chris Marler earlier today, and we were discussing this basketball roster composition, and I feel like in May that it's going to be a little bit weird for me to pull for 24, 25, 26-year-olds from another country playing for LSU for 4 months. Like that feels weird to me in May. I also think once they come out of the tunnel with the purple and gold uniforms on and the ball gets thrown up and they start the clock, I'll get as invested as ever just because that's the way that I've always been my entire life. But it is really, really odd. And the fact that you're going to have 4 different countries with a lot of different languages and 1-year rentals from professional players from overseas, it's odd. But I do think they go out there with Mississippi State in the building and they're playing like I'm gonna be bought in and invested. So it's just, this is something that I've gone back to a couple of times. We just determined at some point that rules were unconstitutional. So we just lifted all the rules. You can pay whoever you want, whatever you want. You can play for whoever you want. Anybody in any age at any professional rank can come back and play. You can get drafted, come back, play. Just because rules are unconstitutional. We can't have any rules because they restrict people, and the Constitution says we can't do it, so we have no more rules. And when you just take all the rules out, you get kind of a laughable circumstance, and that's what we have. It is laughable to have a 26-year-old that got drafted by the National Basketball Association 6 years ago on the floor for a reported, and again, this may be the Onion for all I know, $4 or $5 million. It's just wild to me. I can't. It's hard for me to wrap my head around. But Will Wade knows that you got to go get players, and he's late to the game here, and the best players that are available are professional European players. They're better than a lot of the guys in the transfer portal currently. So he's got to get the best players. He's getting the best players. Jan Madar looks like a damn good player to me. 6'3", combo guard, good athlete, can fill it up, get to the bucket. NBA thought he was pretty good. Been playing in Tel Aviv. 26, bring him on. The question is LSU going to be better than the Pelicans? Sure.
Listen, man. At this rate, because you already threw me off with the guy's 26 years old. I just turned 26, and I've been 3 years removed from college. Yeah. So that right there, the whole these guys are so old just takes the essence out of what college sports is really about. At the end of the day, I get it. These guys got to get paid, the money thing and all this, but we're talking 26 years old. 26. I just turned 26.
Big blow to Hapoel Tel Aviv. That's a team that was in the IBSL, which I'll click on to see exactly what that is. That's the Ligat.
So I want to know this. Next year,
yes.
Do you feel like the priority needs to shift towards high school recruiting?
Next year, I believe they will have put in the 5-to-play-5 system.
Okay.
Which will disqualify these professionals because they're too old. You have to be 5 years out. You have 5 years out from high school or when you turn 19.
Okay.
And so that's going to take out all these professional guys.
26-year-olds.
And yes, LSU will get back in the portal. But Will Wade said in an interview with someone that there were only 9% of the guys in the portal that were good enough to play for LSU on an NCAA tournament team by their evaluation. So there just weren't as many good players in the portal this year.
Okay.
And so he wasn't willing to take lesser players. He just had to go to a different place to find players.
Okay.
So you never know. That's the thing. Jay Johnson has said this before too. You kind of control the faucet of your high school recruiting. There are so many players in all the sports. You can find your signing class that fits your specifications.
100%.
In the portal, you don't control the inventory as much,
Nope.
and you can't evaluate it as properly because they're in the portal and they want to sign 5 days later.
Yeah.
So like you got to work with what you've got, and you never know what's going to be there. So in this instance, Will Wade opened the door and just didn't see enough. Like, well, where are our players? Europe's got players. Okay, let's go get them. So I think he will prioritize high school, but I think that the majority of his teams are going to be built through the college transfer portal, like most are. But this year was just a weird circumstance.
Yeah. It's just weird knowing that you don't have any incoming freshmen to like build on towards next year. So you got to start from ground zero.
And
basically.
all these guys you're bringing in are going to be gone.
Gone. Yeah, they're all gone. They can't even play no more once you said. So it's like you got to start from ground zero again, basically, is what I'm hearing.
And it's all possible that this was an entirely made-up segment because this guy's actually not coming to LSU, but I just read a fake news story from a foreign outlet. It's all everything's on the table here.
It's May.
As we mentioned, there are no rules, so we'll see. 45 minutes to go. It's a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com. FABT.com is that website. Man, they're doing a really cool thing coming up on Wednesday, giving away 500 flags at their Dutchtown location. If you're looking for a flag, get on by First American Bank and Trust on Wednesday. They want those flags flying for Memorial Day, which is coming up on Monday. They're always involved in the community. It's because they're a community bank at First American Bank and Trust. They've been here for 116 years, and they're going to be here for another 116 years. So when you do business with First American Bank and Trust, you're doing business with a local bank. Every decision that's made is made locally. So if you're looking for a commercial loan, looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust needs to be who you do business with, whether you're up the I-12 corridor in St. Tammany or Tangipahoa, maybe down the bayou, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne. First American Bank and Trust, happy to help you out with that. They're online, FABT.com, FABT.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Remind you about our friends at Swing Easy Golf Club. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com. But go by and see them right there on Segan at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club here in Baton Rouge. They got league play that's coming up here this summer. It's going to be a 2-man scramble league. So if you got a buddy want to go play in a league, you can sign up at Swing Easy Golf Club, and we can actually allow you a chance to get in and win your way into the league. But you got to text our new text line, Swing Easy. So text Swing Easy to 225-499-1045. That's 225-499-1045. Very easy. Just text Swing Easy, one word, and you'll be entered in to win an opportunity to play with your partner to get into the league over at Swing Easy Golf Club. We'll draw a winner later this week. So text Swing Easy 225-499-1045 and get into the league. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to go out there and see these two teams duke it out for a spot in the league. Should be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. Swing Easy is a great, great spot. If it's too hot or it's raining, want to get some golf shots in, Swing Easy Golf Club, great spot. Segan at Perkins. All right, SC Tournament Bracket is official. I don't know if a lot of y'all have spent a lot of time grinding this, but LSU is going to have to win 5 games in 6 days to make the NCAA tournament. They will have to beat Oklahoma on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Then they will have to beat Auburn on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And then they would play again on, I believe, Friday against Texas A&M. So that's what's set in stone. Then you would get some sort of Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee team in the semifinal on Saturday. But if LSU does win on Tuesday and Wednesday, they will get Thursday off, and they'll have an opportunity to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday to make their way. Look, I'm not projecting that LSU is going to do that, right? You would have to be crazy to suggest that. But I do want to look at the roadmap here. Oklahoma is LSU's first matchup, and that's a pretty good one because LSU can't pitch at all. But Oklahoma doesn't hit a ton. So this is not like Georgia's as bad a matchup for LSU as anybody because they're just going to bash baseballs and LSU has no one who can get them out. But you would figure that William Schmidt will probably pitch against Oklahoma. That would give LSU a chance to win the game on Tuesday night. Then you play Auburn on Wednesday. Auburn does not need to win a game in Hoover. Auburn is going to be a top 8 national seed. They've got that essentially sewn up. So, or at least I think they do. The question is, are they going to throw their ace, which is obviously is something that Butch Thompson's going to have to weigh. Jake Marciano's had a fantastic season. He has been great. He's going to be a probably first-team all-league pitcher. His ERA is 2.74 this year. He's got 96 strikeouts against 16 walks. He's been awesome. He pitched on Thursday against Georgia. He threw 102 pitches on Thursday. Will they bring him back on one-day short rest on Wednesday? I don't know. That's tough for me to call. But if they don't, you've got a shot. Now, Auburn's got the best ERA in the SEC, so they've got other guys. But Marciano's their best dude. He would be on one-day short rest. Maybe it's a deal like Paul Skeens, where Jay Johnson sent Skeens out there for like 3 innings against Arkansas in the SEC tournament. He actually got beat in that game. But do you just limit the pitch count? I'm not sure. But if you could beat Auburn, then you got Texas A&M, and A&M's got real pitching problems because their only true weekend starter in Sims is missed last weekend. And who knows what his status is or if he would pitch in that first game that LSU would play A&M on Friday. So we'll see. It's no path for this LSU team unless it involved a lot of Missouri and a lot of South Carolina would be a positive one. But for LSU, you figure it's William Schmidt and all hands on deck on Tuesday. Then I think it's probably Case and Evans on Wednesday with all hands on deck. And if you can win those two, then you get a day off and you can reset and see how you want to do things. Jay Johnson said they're kind of playing this thing like a regional to win every game. And so it probably starts with Schmidt, and you got to get some length. Like, I feel silly, honestly, talking about LSU advancing deep into this tournament. But I'll say this, while that is a very silly thing to do because they got swept 5 of the last 6 weekends, and they're 0-12, 0-15, 0-15 against teams with winning records in the league. 0-15, that's something. They do hit. Like, they can hit. And you're facing teams that, one, are playing a lot of games back-to-back. Well, actually not in the first 3, but if you got to the weekend. You're playing teams that, in some cases, don't have a lot of motivation. You're playing teams that may hold their ace. You're playing in a pitcher-friendly ballpark that may help you a little bit. So it's I could see them winning on Tuesday. It's hard to see them beating Auburn. But if Auburn punts and, pitches down, maybe. And then, against Texas A&M against LSU's pitching staff, especially in its 3rd game in Hoover, A&M's going to score 15 runs. So, that's probably the max of where this team could go if they do win 2 games. But that would be fun if they made that happen. I told y'all back in hour number 1, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year because oftentimes LSU has played itself into proper position. You don't have to do much in Hoover. You've got baseball that's played all day. You've got resumes that are being shuffled. You've got regional projections. You're just kind of getting ready for what's such an awesome month of NCAA baseball tournament action. And then this situation, you just don't have that. And I'm fighting internally with myself as to what my show content should look like for the next 3 weeks. And I'll probably do some Twitter polling and see how people feel about talking about baseball moving forward. Because, the portal opens in a couple of weeks, and we'll absolutely hit on that very hard. But, I'm going to watch the regionals next week. I'm going to be paying attention to how teams do. I'll honestly be, hate watching more than I'll be, locked in for the content. I need Arkansas to lose. I need A&M to lose. I want those teams that have never gotten to the top of the mountaintop to fall short. That's a very, very pathetic way of viewing, but I can't help the way that I'm programmed. But I'll be interested, and I would consider talking about that. But I do think there's a huge segment of our audience that's LSU fans that just want to slam the door and let's get to football. But the problem with that is that if you open the football holster in mid-May, May 20th, like, what do you have on July 3rd? Like, nothing will have happened, and you've already talked about all this stuff. I just worry about unloading too quickly on the football stuff. I've said so many times to people, like, I bless that baseball team when they win a national title and get us all the way through June. Because then you show up, it's July 1st. You got the MLB draft. You've got a week off probably. Then you've got SEC Media Days in the middle of July. And by the time we get back from Media Days, the Saints are practicing. They start in late July. So when the baseball team can get all the way through June, we only have to fill like 2 weeks. Now it's 6 weeks. That is bad. And I just struggle with how to navigate that. Not that it's going to be difficult, that I just don't know what people are really wanting. I think I'm going to do some Twitter polling on that. Like, do you want to start grinding football on May 26th?
It honestly, the way how Lane Kiffin is on fire right now, he's probably going to give you at least 3 to 2 topics in between that time. He's going to give you something.
Yeah, I mean, Vanity Fair.
He can't
Twitter.
stop himself. He literally cannot stop himself. He's going to give you at least 2 to 3 things, Hunt. You got to count that in.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. It's just, but do we want to start talking about, like, the Saints' third guard? Do we want to start talking about LSU's nickel defense? Like, or do you want to talk about, hey, Ole Miss is in a winner-take-all game in the Hattiesburg Regional? Like, does anyone care about that? I do, but I don't. I'm not the listener.
Right.
I'm not in charge. Like, I'm not catering to me. I'm catering to people that are listening.
Or the text line. They can text it in.
Yeah.
They can text it into the text line. Nobody said they can do that. But, I mean, the way how Lane Kiffin, he's going to give you something. Maybe Alvin Kamara might get cut. That might happen. Like, he might get cut. Like, it's going to be something. Give me a Cam
Jordan signature.
Look, the way how the Saints work, somebody's going to get arrested probably. A DUI is going to come along the way. That always happens. Somebody,
We'll see. It's just a weird spot. This is always one of my favorite weeks, and it's been absolutely napalmed. Like, there's a decent chance at midnight tomorrow we don't have a game until Labor Day weekend.
And it sucks because you said midnight, so you got to wait all the way.
Well, when I saw this weekend that they were the 8 o'clock time slot, I was like, that is just terrible.
Brutal.
Because that game hasn't started on time at 8 o'clock in 25 years.
Ooh.
It will always start at 9:12 p.m.
Oh, my God.
And then it goes
late?
till midnight. LSU's played till 1 in the morning in this thing. They played Florida one time. That's the only time, I think, in my entire life.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. They were playing, and I fell asleep. I didn't have to write a game story on it, but I was watching. I woke up on the couch.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I fell asleep. They played till 2 in the morning.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Hoover gets weird. You get rain delays. You get a 13-inning game. It backs the whole schedule up, and you're just toast. So the 8 o'clock window is not what you're looking for. I personally, with this time slot, I like them to play the 9:30 a.m. game. Then I'm like a post-game show. But it doesn't matter because they're playing at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll see. And it'll be LSU and Oklahoma. We'll get a pitching breakdown probably tomorrow and get a little bit more into it. But it's not what you're looking for in the middle of May here. This LSU baseball team. A lot of work to be done. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. They're online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. 30 minutes to go. Come back with us. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. If you had some issues with the rain last week and you feel like there may be damage to your roof, but you hadn't had that indication previously, get someone to come inspect it. Lifetime Roofing, happy to come do that. They're not going to just immediately look at it and go, oh, yeah, new roof. That's obviously the most expensive product, and there are roofing companies that will come in and do whatever they can to get a new roof on your house. Not the case with Lifetime Roofing. You can trust them. You can trust them to go up there, and if it just needs a repair, they can handle that repair. Maybe your roof is okay. You just need a tune-up. You need to fortify that roof. They'll do that for you. Great thing to do prior to storm season. Or maybe you do need that new roof, and that's what they can help you with as well. You need to finance that deductible or finance a new roof at retail, they can do that 0% up to 18 months. And as of January 1st, so now half a year in, they are thrilled to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on the workmanship as well as on the materials. It's Lifetime Roofing. Find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. There's a copy of the lawsuit that Brendan Sorsby's team is bringing against the NCAA in conjunction with his gambling issues. And it's circulating on the internet, and I just have to read this because this is phenomenal stuff. I'm cackling in the break. Okay. So if y'all aren't aware, when Brendan Sorsby was at Indiana, he placed a lot of bets regarding Indiana football. And that's going to bring his eligibility into significant question for the upcoming season. Obviously, Texas Tech is planning on him being their quarterback. He was in the portal. LSU got a visit from him, and he ended up at Texas Tech. But he's checked himself into rehab for gambling, and they're trying to clear this thing up so that he can play football. And this is from the lawsuit that the attorneys have drafted. It says, freshman year, Mr. Sorsby placed small bets, typically between $5 and $50, in support of Indiana. In other words, he placed bets on Indiana to win a game or score more than a certain number of points, or for the quarterback to throw for more than a certain number of touchdowns or yards. He rationalized these bets as a way to feel more connected to the team, rooting for his friends and feeling like he had a real stake in games despite being otherwise uninvolved. He never placed any bets against Indiana or against any player on the team. He never used any public information that he knew about the team in deciding what bets to place, and he never placed bets on any game that he participated in or had any reasonable chance to participate in. Because the Indiana football team was not a very strong competitor in 2022, Mr. Sorsby lost most of the bets he placed. After Mr. Sorsby was named backup quarterback in late October of 2022, he did not place any bets in connection with Indiana football. He was now an active member of the team who could reasonably expect to join his teammates on the gridiron at any moment. In fact, from that point forward, he never bet on any of his teams or any games he participated in. So they're going with the Pete Rose defense, which is, yeah, I bet, but it was for my team, so I was trying to win. Didn't work out for Pete. And I don't know that it's going to work out for Brendan Sorsby. I'm cackling at two of these things. One, Indiana football was not a strong competitor, so he lost most of his bets. I don't know why that's even in the lawsuit. I don't know what reasonably that does. And then two, there's an aspect of this that is not with the NCAA, that's with the gambling entities that you've got. I mean, he's placing bets with knowledge of the game plan. He's saying that not any non-public information. He didn't use that to place his bets. BS. He's in there. He knows if they're out there gonna air it out. He knows if they're gonna try to take the air out of the football and run it. Like, he does have information. Now that doesn't matter to the NCAA. They don't care if he's winning or losing bets. They care that he's placing bets. And so that obviously happened. And I don't think that's going to work. But it's just not. It's not true. Like, you obviously have information that matters in terms of placing that bet. And the fact that you were betting on a team that you played on is no bueno. And I don't think he's going to be able to play. I can't imagine that they're going to open that Pandora's box and allow someone who was betting on his team to be out there.
Nah, he's cooked. He's just using the typical "I'm cooked" response. Like, I just throw anything at the wall, hope it sticks. So I find it commendable, to say all this word salad, but we all know, Brendan, like, just wrap it up, man.
Because Indiana was not a strong competitor in 2022. He lost all his bets.
Like, come on, man. and then behind you, the point you said was to sit there and act like you didn't have inside knowledge and placing these bets. You were off.
He's placing over-unders? Come on, man. That's just ridiculous. But again, that has nothing to do with his eligibility. That's with the gambling entities.
Yeah.
But that's wild stuff. So that's Brendan Sorsby's case. He's throwing the Pete Rose defense at him, saying, "Hey, I only bet on my team, not shaving points." Okay, we'll see how that works. I also want to talk about the Pelicans hiring a coach. That happened today.
Unfortunately.
It did. Pelicans were kicking the tires around a number of different names, and ultimately you land on, yet again, an NBA staple, the retread, which is, of course, Jamal Mosley from Orlando. He was just fired 15 minutes ago.
Yep. Got
him to the playoffs, but didn't do anything once he got him there. And the general consensus is that they kind of underachieved based on the talent on that roster. I don't know how this is going to work out. You never do. Coaching hires are crapshoots. And in the NBA, they hire coaches like it's a bodily function. They fire them. It's a bodily function. Everybody gets fired. It's not Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr. Everybody gets fired. Guys are getting fired after winning NBA championships.
Mike Malone.
So it's if you just get it wrong, you just hire the next one. So I'm not here to say whether or not Jamal Mosley is going to do a good job with the Pelicans. We'll see. What I do think is that the process here is flawed. And here's why. I believe, and I'm really not trying to offend you here, Jordan, but I'm just going to call it like it is. The New Orleans Pelicans are among the most irrelevant franchises in American professional sports.
Fact.
They've never won anything. They don't draw exceptionally well. They don't have a historic facility. They're not an iconic brand.
Changed our name.
Yeah, it just, there's not anything to hold on to with the New Orleans Pelicans. And with that, I think you probably need a little bit of a hook to do something really positive. And to me, that hook, that differentiator, that taking a risk would be hiring Rajon Rondo to be the coach. He is different. He's always been a different cat. He played different. He answers questions differently. He looks at the game differently. He's got a strong will. He's got an interesting personality. I think he would have been a risk worth taking. This feels like, no, it's not this is just a retread. And it doesn't inspire me at all.
It shouldn't. The way how I break it down, the way how I've processed all this, it just shows me that the direction this franchise is going, that they are committed to just being this 7-8, just as long as you're in the play-in. As long as you're in the play-in, that's the ceiling of this team. Now, I get it. Rajon Rondo doesn't have the coaching experience people want to talk about. But also, J.J. Redick was a podcast host and just walked immediately, and now the Lakers are back-to-back 50-win seasons. Yes, he's with the Lakers, LeBron, Luka, whatever. Cool. But we all know Rajon Rondo, in his playing career, he was a high IQ player. Yeah. It wasn't like he was never a coach on the court. So to sit there and talk about the experience thing, yeah, all right, cool. That's in one ear, out through the other. But my biggest takeaway is that this franchise has just signaled to everybody they are content with just being the 7, 8, 10. As long as they're in the play-in, 45 wins, that's cool. They never want to sit at the table with the big dogs, and I get it. I'm saying Rajon Rondo. But it would have gave me a clearer picture that, okay, it's the future. You have a 19-year-old in Jeremiah Fears. You have a 20-year-old in Derek Queen. We bring in Rondo. They're going to grow with him. Grow as he's learning how to become a head coach. You have time. It's going to give you time. This move signals to me that there is no time. There is no, all right, it's not a rebuild or a retool. The Pelicans are all in again. They're all in trying to make the play-in. The play-in, keep in mind. They're all in trying to make the play-in again. So I'm not sitting there saying Jamal Mosley is a bad head coach. He has success. He's not a bad head coach, but it's uninspiring. We know the ceiling of what a Jamal Mosley is going to do. He's going to get you to the first round, and sayonara. That's about it. But this franchise, that's all they want is the first round.
Yeah, it's uninspiring. It's blah. It's vanilla. It's boring. It's just I wanted some juice. Rondo's juice. That would have been a cool thing to have seen. And it may have flamed out terribly. They may have hired a much better coach. They may have done that. But the ceiling doesn't feel very good here with Mosley. I didn't love it. We'll see. They got bigger issues than head coach. They need to retool the roster because
you would think that,
it's boring.
But then you bring in Jamal Mosley where you're like, all right, we need to compete. So it's like, how can you compete with a roster that has 2 sub-30-win seasons, back-to-back seasons? It's so much confusion. That's why I'm just like, hey, man, Taylor came there, asked me earlier. I'm like, at least it wasn't Darvin Ham, but I'm not going to be jumping on my seat for Jamal Mosley, you know. He's a good coach, but he's not like, oh, my gosh.
Meh. It is what it is. That's Pelicans talk. That's Brendan Sorsby gambling talk. We've also hit Israeli basketball talk today. We've done some SEC tournament talk today. We've hit a lot of different things. We'll close it out coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. FabryChevrolet.com is that website. Looking for a new SUV? Fabry Chevrolet GMC's got them. They got your Chevy Tahoes. They got your Chevy Suburbans. They got GMC Yukons, Denali's, trying to load up the crew for a family road trip, need a big SUV for it. Go check them out at FabryChevrolet.com. They're happy to help you. You can start your buying experience at FabryChevrolet.com, but go see them Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You'll have a great buying experience. If you're in Baton Rouge, it's a hop, skip, and a jump just up Highway 61 north of town. It's even closer, and you're going to get a first-class experience with the folks at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Maybe there's a new grad in your family that needs a new ride. They've got new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Check it out online, FabryChevrolet.com. Go see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Fabry Chevrolet GMC.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
I'm telling you about Guarantee Health Solutions every single Monday. Rachel Fricke and her team just do an awesome job over there. If you're in the healthcare space, whether you've got an urgent care, dental office, medical clinic, you got a hospital, Guarantee Health Solutions is guiding healthcare forward, and they do that by helping out with patient experience. And Rachel started this business based on a personal experience. Her mother was diagnosed with cancer, and Rachel was there every step of the way during her time in the healthcare system, and noticed it was impersonal, noticed that it was uncomfortable. And she felt like, based on her background in hotels, that she could take her hospitality background and help healthcare institutions with patient experience. And so that's what she does at Guarantee Health Solutions. Do you, as a medical office, consider patient experience? Well, that starts on the website. Are you digital? Do you have a user-friendly website? When someone comes in for their visit, does the front office know how to treat them? Is it a positive experience as you go through? These are the things that Guarantee Health Solutions can look at. They also can handle your marketing. They can handle your SEO when it comes to digital advertising. They can help you with traditional advertising like radio and television. They look at the entire system and give you the solution to help get patients in the door, to make it a positive experience so that they will come back. That's the difference with Guarantee Health Solutions. Check them out online at GuaranteeHealth.com. It's GuaranteeHealth.com. I wanted to give a shout out to Beth Torina and the LSU softball team. The ladies got it done, sweeping through the Baton Rouge Regional, took care of Virginia Tech in pretty comfortable fashion in back-to-back days, a shutout with a run rule back in the marble game of the Regional, and then closed it out with another dominant performance on Sunday. So excellent work by Beth Torina and her team. They will now travel to Tuscaloosa to play the number one seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I guess former LSU coach, Pat Murphy, who was here for about 10 minutes and then decided to go back to Tuscaloosa. But yeah, that's great work by them. And also wanted to mention the Catholic High Bears baseball team. I don't know if everybody saw this. It was certainly a chatter on the golf course yesterday for me. The circumstances around Catholic High's state championship victory, the third in a row, was absolutely wild. They got the bases loaded and 2 out in the bottom of the last inning. They're playing Brother Martin, so sacks packed, winning run on third. And they get a walk. Winning run's coming in. But the hitter that walked got dogpiled and didn't go to first base. And Brother Martin threw the ball to first base, and the runner was called out. End of inning. You don't score. Now, I don't know what the exact rule was, whether there were too many players from Catholic's team touching the runner, because obviously you can't assist a runner, whether it was that they ruled him out of the baseline because he got dogpiled. Surely what I know is that there's no time that then allows you to throw a guy out that walked. It didn't take him too long to get to first base, but in some circumstance, and I never got clarity on what the rule was, the runner was ruled out after walking, which I'd never seen. So they got to go back and play Brother Martin in a tie ball game, and it goes to the 15th inning, and Catholic gets it done and beats Brother Martin for their third straight state championship. But I'd never seen an out on a walk. Should have been a walk-off walk, and they called him out because his teammates dogpiled him. You got to go to first base, kids.
Hey, anyways, I'm happy to hear Brother Martin losing. You know, as a Holy Cross grad, anytime we can hear Brother Martin taking an L, shout out to Catholic Bears. Kalahai.
There you go. Bears state champs under Brad Bass, 3rd year in a row. Impressive stuff. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, we have some beef. We have some beef in the NBA, so stick with me on this one. So Stephen A. Smith responded today to Celtics Jaylen Brown comments on stream. Jaylen basically came out and said Stephen A. Smith needs to retire, and the clown media, ragged on the media. And this was Stephen A. This was his response today. And I quote, Jaylen Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room, how the organization might think about you, how the city may feel about you, how Jason Tatum may feel or not feel about you, sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on. The season is over, bro. You're on Twitch trying to do what I'm doing and needing me to step away. It makes no sense. So does Stephen A. have some dirt on Jaylen Brown? Take it or leave it?
I'll leave it. Stephen A. with his feuds and his yelling and
Hey, gotta
screaming.
get on
I
beef.
cannot take Stephen A. Smith seriously for one solitary second. I cannot.
Yeah.
That television show that I watched for 5 minutes the other day
First take,
scarred
baby.
me. And then I saw that he and Skip Bayless got
they
back together and they're
reunited,
talking about
yes.
LeBron. I mean, just no thanks.
Gotta hit the
Awful.
classics.
Awful stuff.
All right, so the resurgent Philadelphia Phillies improved to 15-4 since interim manager Don Mattingly took over. They snuck over the 500 mark at 24-23 for the first time since April 7th. They were 9-19 when they fired Rob Thompson. So Phillies looking dangerous. Take it or leave it.
Take it. They're good.
I'll take it.
Get Wheeler back.
Yeah,
and Nola's
Wheeler.
got to pitch better. But they got bats for days. They're getting older. They're on the back
very
half of
old.
this thing. But Harper can still hit. Schwarber can still hit. Turner can still hit. They're good. Cubs got them at the right time. Cubs were able to go in there and win 3 of 4, I think, or 2 of 3. But that was a good time to catch. No, the man swept them. It was a good time to catch them because they're obviously playing a lot better now.
And I saw that they were hitting Paul Skeens like that yesterday. They were hitting him around. Jimmy had to say something about that this morning. So Miller Lite is partnering with Pringles on 2 brand new chips that encapsulate the classic warm weather flavors.
Okay.
Beer can chicken and grilled beer brat flavored Pringles are headed to a grocery store near you. So beer flavored Pringles, take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Okay,
I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's probably fine. I mean, I'm sure it's not great.
Okay.
I'm a pretty conservative chip guy.
Okay.
I can even eat a bag of plain Lay's that don't have any flavor.
I love
but
plain
I
Lay's,
like
though.
sour cream and onion. I like cheddar and sour cream. You lose me with like barbecue
Whoa,
and
hon,
all.
whoa,
I don't need
whoa.
that. I don't need spicy.
Whoa.
Everybody loves the voodoo stuff from Zapp's. I'm out. I want some plain chips.
What is going on here? You don't like the Voodoos from Zapp's?
Nah.
Hunt. Those are like the
I don't-
best chips on the
I don't
planet.
need that. Give me the sour cream and onion.
They got sour cream onion Zaps though. Those are pretty
Those are
good. No, I'm about to say those roll too. Oh
When I
my
used
goodness.
to study in college, I would get a bag of sour cream and onion Zaps and a Coke the size of a water cooler.
Okay.
And that would be what I would snack and eat and drink on until 4 in the morning.
That's prime. That's
it.
actually, and that's crazy because college, you eat so much junk that if you thought about eating that right now, you'll be sick for the next couple of days.
I just college was a poor dietary time for me.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking the other day, we were driving down one of the streets in back. I guess that's Burbank.
Okay.
And there are college kids that live in apartments that literally share a parking lot with Whataburger, Atomic Burger,
Yeah, Rouse's.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I lived 50 feet from McDonald's and Whataburger,
Yeah.
I would have needed a cardiologist on site now. I'd just be gone.
No, 100%.
I can't have it in the parking lot.
Yes. My sister stays over there, and I tell her every time, I'm like, bro, you literally have everything at your disposal. Everything's in this one area, and you be asking for food. You have food on every corner.
It'd be really good to have a grocery store right around the corner, but to have fast food that close, like I lived really close to a McDonald's in college. It was technically walkable, but like I can't have it in the parking lot. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, my money would have been gone. I mean, I had no money in college anyway.
The time I stepped off the high school basketball court in February of 2006 to the time I stepped off the graduation stage at LSU in May of 11, 65 pounds.
Ooh, freshman 15?
Yep, that was part of it. And then we just kept going.
It's kept
65 pounds.
It ain't stop. You was eating good, man. Good life.
Just drinking some cold drinks, eating some food, probably eating too much at 2 o'clock in the morning, cheese fries. What? It's just
No care in the world.
what a time to be alive.
So that's
college.
it for take it or leave it.
That's it. Take it or leave it. Our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. GuaranteeHealth.com is that website. If you miss any of the show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Search Hunt Palmer Show, Hunt on LSU, Hunt on Saints as well. Tomorrow we'll get you ready for LSU and Oklahoma from the SEC tournament. Matt is about to drive you home next on After Further Review. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. You know, it doesn't have to be a huge renovation. You don't have to do everything. Maybe it's something simple, and it's something that David Duvall and his team do all the time. Tub to shower conversions. We use the tubs in the Palmer house because we've got a 4.5-year-old and we've got a 15-month-old, and those two need to take a bath. But you may not take a bath. So if you're not using the tub, take it out. That's a lot of room you can free up in your bathroom to put in a gorgeous glass walk-in shower. It completely changes the aesthetic of your bathroom, changes the functionality of your bathroom, adds a little value to that home as well. And David Duvall and his team can do it in short order. I talked to David. He said, look, the tub to shower conversions depends on the scope of the work. Obviously, every situation can be different, but you're looking at 3 to 5 days. Not super invasive, not super expensive. It's a great option at One Bath and Closets. Find it all online. It's at onebathandclosets.com.